Hello, and welcome to the Loan Officer Fast Track Training for LenderLetter. My name is John Brennan, and I'm a licensed real estate broker in the state of California and co-founder of LenderLetter. Please allow me to begin with this opening statement. LenderLetter is a tool that will strengthen your realtor-buyer relationships. It will eliminate the inconvenient task of updating pre-approval letters by you, the loan officer, especially during evenings and weekends. Bottom line, LenderLetter gives you complete control of the whole pre-approval letter process and is a huge time saver. So as you can see, we're on the main web page or website of LenderLetter. And I'm going to go ahead and, because this is a fast track training, I'm going to move quickly through this, and I'm going to log in as the fictitious loan officer. But I wanted to bring your attention to the sign up button. Please, as a loan officer, do not click on this sign up button. That is for your company admin or loan manager to do. If you do want to sign up after this training, just ask your company admin or loan manager to go ahead and do that for you. You'll receive an email with quick sign up and login instructions. So thanks for your patience. So let's go ahead and log in as the fictional loan officer, Larry Lender, with the fictional lender, Loans Are Us. So today's purpose is to provide the essential fast track training for loan officers. As a result, you'll be able to do the following: learn how to copy a company-approved pre-approval letter template and how to create an editable pre-approval letter for your realtors on behalf of your mutual buyer, borrower, client. By the way, we won't be covering all of the step-by-step details in today's training. We're just covering the essential tasks, but there are detailed step-by-step instructions available at the click of a button. So on the side menu here, I'm at the bottom here at the Lender Help button. That can be clicked, and you can access information that'll give you step-by-step detailed instructions for just about anything involved with the application. Also, today's training has been recorded and will be available for review. And lastly, I'm available to do live fast track training for your loan company and loan officer staff. Just let me know. So on that note, let's get started. The first section is template copy and update. So let's navigate up to the pre-approval templates button. We're going to click on that, and the pull-down menu appears. We're going to click on the company template library. So let's do that. And of course, this is for training purposes. So this template is available, and we're going to go ahead and copy this template to our templates, to the loan officer templates. So from a company template to a loan officer template. We're going to call this Joe Buyer template. We're going to save that. And now this template has been saved to the loan officer template list. And we're going to go right to this template, and we're going to edit the template. And the reason why we want to do that is because when a company template is copied, the information pertinent to the loan officer will need to be entered. Now, we've already done this in advance. We've entered all the pertinent information for Larry Lender, the loan officer, including their signature and their phone number and NMLS number, all of the essential information. Also, I wanted you to see that when the template was created by the company admin, certain variables were inserted. Now, these bracketed items are the variables that are part of this pre-approval letter. This pre-approval letter probably looks familiar, or some of the features certainly look familiar in any pre-approval letter that has you've been using. So this template that's now been personalized for the loan officer can now be previewed, just to make sure it all looks good, and it does. We're going to close it, and we're going to update it. And now this letter has been updated and is part of the My Templates personal library for the loan officer. So that work is done. And now we're going to go to the next step, which is editing and creating the editable pre-approval letter. And this is really where the magic happens. This is the this is where it happens with creating that editable pre-approval letter. So let's go ahead and review the window that's in front of us here. It's called the buyer's table, and we can see that Joe Buyer is already part of the table. There's been a letter that's been already created for Joe, and if we were going to add a buyer that that wasn't already part of the table, it's easy to do. You go to your Add Buyer button, you click on that, and you follow the instructions, fill out the fields, and fill in the agent. Now, if the buyer contacts you directly and doesn't have an agent yet, then you can simply select a TBD at LenderLetter.com for temporary placement until a realtor has been selected. But that is how you add a buyer. Let's go back to Joe Buyer, and we're going to go down to look at another column in this table, and that is the override column. This green button, this override button, it's green when the lender is given the buyer's agent the ability to edit the lender letter. So the loan officer has control on the realtor who's going to be editing the letter. If the buyer has another realtor they want to use, then the loan officer can make that change with the Change Agent action button and select the realtor they want to use, and then go ahead and make sure that override button is green so that the realtor can make the change. So that's all I wanted to review at this time in this window. So let's go ahead and go to the middle column and open up the letter. And this is where the letter is, the editable letter is created. So as you remember in the template, there were variables that were inserted, and those were the items that were bracketed. So those items, those variable items, are now fields in this window that need to be updated. Now, to save time, this has already been pre-filled. The items, the fields have been entered with the buyer name, the down payment, loan amount, all those variables that are the essential part of this letter. Now, as you can see, the max price has been entered of $1 million. That's because the loan officers determined that's the maximum amount that Joe Buyer can afford in light of the 20% down payment and the 80% loan. So up at the top is the loan summary, $1 million offer price, which is right here, with the 20% and 80% variables. So the other important part of this variable field is the two columns here, the allow edit and the visible columns. The visible columns, well, just as it indicates, these need to be checked so that these fields will show up in the letter. If they're not checked, those fields will not show up. The allow edit column is if any of these boxes are checked, then you, the loan officer, are allowing the realtor to edit that field. In this case, the only field that's being allowed to edit is the price. We know the max price is $1 million, and that cannot be exceeded. That's something you control, and we'll test that a little bit later on. Because a property's not been found yet for Joe Buyer, you're just putting in the max price as the offering price of this letter. And we're going to go ahead, we're going to save this letter, update it. Well, actually, it's already been updated, so we're just going to go right to that letter. And by the way, when that letter was updated, the realtor and the buyer were both notified by email that Larry Lender had updated or created a new letter for them. Also, this letter was inserted into their dashboard immediately upon saving it. So on that note, let's log out of Larry Lender, and we're going to go ahead and log in as the realtor so that you can see how the realtor would edit the letter that you created for them. So we're going to go in as Hank Holmes, the fictitious realtor in this case, and we're going to go ahead and open the buyer edit letter button, which opens up the buyer table, and we'll do a quick review showing the buyer the max price of $1 million, and right on down to the edit letter button, which we're going to click on. Now, Hank and Joe have been looking at properties, and they found a property. And I just clicked on the edit letter action button, and Joe and Hank have talked. Hank has done his CMA, and they've arrived at a price. The list price was $950,000 of this particular property that Joe's interested in, and they decided that a good offering price would be $975,000. But before we put that in, I want to show the fail-safe feature of LenderLetter, in that if a price above the max price allowed was entered into this field, and it was saved or tried to be saved, the system will not allow it. As you can see, this warning window opened up saying enter a purchase price within the max price. The max price was $1 million, as we know, and then also as Hank and Joe discussed, they were going to make an offer of $975,000, which is well within the max price allowed. So now Hank is going to update this letter. And there it is saying Hank Holmes has updated or created this letter at 3:35 p.m. for Joe Buyer. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. And here's the letter. Now, this letter shows the $975,000, and it shows the down payment loan amount that were calculated correctly. This letter is ready to go. It can be saved, or it can be printed and attached with the offering paperwork and submitted to the listing agent. Now, when Hank made this change, an email was automatically sent to the loan officer stating that Hank had made the change. So we've come full circle. The loan officer created the template that was then sent to the buyer and the realtor has edited the letter, and everyone has been notified of said change. And this is the application in action and the main essential parts of the LenderLetter application. So what's the takeaway from this? Well, we know now with LenderLetter that your realtor at their leisure can log into LenderLetter and change the price to any amount below the maximum allowed. And when does that typically happen? Well, when they're writing an offer. And that can happen at any time of the day or night. The beauty of LenderLetter for the busy loan officer is that there are no more interruptions or having to drop everything just to update a pre-approval letter. You can now relax. LenderLetter makes it all happen seamlessly and automatically. So that concludes our fast track training. Thank you very much for your patience, and we'll hope to talk to you soon.